Today's important news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji is in Namibia. He is in the last leg of 5-nation tour. Namibia submitted letter of acceptance for joining CDRI, Coalition for Disaster Resilience Infrastructure. Namibia also submitted letter of acceptance for joining of Global Biofuel Alliance. Namibia becomes the first country globally to sign licensing agreement to adopt UPI technology. Namibia will roll out the Unified Payments Interface later this year. It's very, very important. So, India-Namibia relations are reaching a new height. And the most important news is Namibia announced highest civilian award during Narendra Modi ji's state visit to Namibia to our Prime Minister Modi. This is PM Modi's 27th international honor. He visited 5 countries and 4 countries have awarded him the 4th award during his ongoing visit in his 5-nation tour, and the second in less than 24 hours. And Prime Minister Modi was conferred with Namibia's highest civilian award, the Order of the Most Ancient Welwitschia Mirabilis. The Order of the Most Ancient Welwitschia Mirabilis. What is Welwitschia Mirabilis? It's a plant in Namibia. It lives more than 200 years. Welwitschia Mirabilis is a plant in Namibia and it lives for more than 200 years. And the award, the highest civilian award, the Order of the Most Ancient Welwitschia Mirabilis, established in 1995. It recognizes distinguished service and leadership. It is named after Welwitschia Mirabilis, a unique desert plant found only in Namibia. That symbolizes resilience, longevity, and enduring spirit of its people. Next, the other important news. Bulgaria becomes 21st member to adopt Euro currency. European Union members gave the final green light for Bulgaria to adopt Euro from January 1st, 2026 onwards, making it the single currency area's 21st member. Bulgaria's present currency was LEV, L-E-V. Now Bulgaria is switching over from LEV to Euro. So, Bulgaria's population is 6.4 million, that is 64 lakhs. And Bulgaria joined European Union 19 years back. And Bulgaria adopted all the legal texts to adopt Euro as common currency. And Bulgaria joined into Euro club. It's a very important news. So now Bulgaria is the 21st member to accept Euro as a common currency. Nimisha Priya case. Kerala nurse faces execution in Yemen on July 16th. Desperate push for pardon, but big hurdles remain. Actually, in Yemen, it is not easy to get clemency. The laws are very strict. And the second interesting thing there is 2 parallel governments were established in Yemen. One is official, second is unofficial. The unofficial government is run by Houthi rebels. So, it's very difficult to convince in Yemen. So, the situation is complicated because Nimisha Priya is imprisoned in a region controlled by Houthis. Nimisha Priya was imprisoned in the region controlled by Houthi rebels, a faction with whom India has no proper diplomatic or formal diplomatic ties. So, it's very difficult for India to intervene in the area which was controlled by Houthi rebels. So, India don't have any diplomatic relation with the Houthi rebels. Nimisha Priya, a 37-year-old Indian nurse, hailing from Kerala's Palakkad district. He is scheduled to be executed in Yemen on July 16, 2025. After being convicted for murder, according to the human rights activist Samuel Jerome, who holds the power of attorney for Nimisha Priya's mother Prema Kumari. Nimisha has gone to Gulf region in search of better job opportunities. I think you all know many Keralites will go and work in Middle East countries as nurses, caregivers, car drivers, small shopkeepers, all these jobs. She had been working as a nurse in Yemen for several years and even ran a small clinic in partnership with Yemeni national Talal Abdo Mehdi. However, her journey in Yemen it have become a nightmare when she was accused and later convicted of murdering Talal in 2017. Talal has allegedly taken control of Nimisha's passport, making it her difficult to leave the country. In an attempt to retrieve her passport, Nimisha allegedly gave Talal a sedative, but the dosage turned out to be fatal. Later, she and another Yemeni colleague, identified as Hanan, allegedly dismembered the body and disposed the remains of his body of Talal, in a water tank. Further, this led to arrest and trial and eventually death sentence by the Yemeni court in 2018. The verdict was later upheld by Yemeni's highest court in 2023, and now she was about to be executed. It's very difficult for India to save her as she was in the region, imprisoned in the region which was controlled by Houthi rebels. It's a very big shock, and in Middle East, laws are very strict, particularly the Shariat laws. It's very difficult to actually protect. In fact, 2 years back in Qatar, 8 naval officers, former naval officers in India, were convicted of spying. But that was done by Qatar official government, and India could effectively use all diplomatic channels to save the former naval officers. But this time it's very difficult as the area is controlled by Houthis. Gujarat launches Cruise Bharat mission to boost maritime tourism and redefine the global travel. In a landmark move, Gujarat have become the first state in India to officially join the Cruise Bharat mission, signaling a major leap forward in developing a global competitive cruise tourism industry. Gujarat CM Bhupendra Patel aims that state should leverage its vast 2,340-kilometer coastline and key navigable rivers such as Sabarmati and Narmada to position itself as a prime destination for cruise travelers. Gujarat Maritime Board hosted a comprehensive stakeholder workshop to improve its maritime tourism. See, in foreign countries, cruise tourism is very, very popular. People will book the tickets and go on cruise for 1 week, 10 days like that. In India, though we have a wide coastline, we have not yet properly developed cruise tourism. There are many reasons for that, including affordability also. But now, in order to develop the maritime tourism, we have launched Cruise Bharat mission, and Gujarat is the first state to officially join in the Cruise Bharat mission, as Gujarat has a vast coastline of 2,340 kilometers. So, you have to also read about this Cruise Bharat mission. Rare wild cat, the caracal, spotted in Madhya Pradesh after 20 years. A middle-sized wild cat, caracal. It is critically endangered in India. Actually, there is a special and unique feature of this wild cat, caracal. It can fly up to 6 feet and catch the birds in the middle air. In the olden days, emperors and kings used to domesticate caracals. They are wild cats, and they are lighter in the weight, and unlike other cats, they are spotless. You cannot find a spot on their skin, but their ears have tufts. Tufts means hair, and in the edge of the ears there will be black color, and the cats will be goldish colors. And more importantly, these cats are sleek, thin, and agile. Sleek, thin, and agile. Not only in India, they are actually seen in Africa, Middle East, and some parts of the world. But in India, in India, they are rarely found. They are critically endangered. Recently, they are found. One caracal was found in Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary in Madhya Pradesh, and few years back, it was found in Rajasthan also. And more importantly, they eat rodents, they eat small insects, they eat other livestock, small livestock. So they are very important in the ecosystem conservation also. These caracals are very important in ecosystem conservation, particularly destruction of forests, grasslands, shrublands, and more importantly, these caracals eat small livestock. For that reason, there is a human wildlife conflict also, and caracals are being killed, poached, and other activities are also they are actually killing and poaching caracals. So caracals are missing in India, and caracals are very important for ecosystem conservation and our cultural conservation. And a caracal was found. Caracal was a rare, elusive wild cat which was found recently in Madhya Pradesh and some parts of Gujarat and Rajasthan. According to the news, there are less than 50 individuals of caracals in India. 50 individuals of caracals in India. Coming back, Vatsala, Asia's oldest elephant, aged over 100 years, dies in Madhya Pradesh. Vatsala, believed to be Asia's oldest elephant, passed away at the age of 400 at Panna Tiger Reserve in Madhya Pradesh. So, relocated from Kerala to Narmadapuram and later shifted to Panna, the female elephant has drawn attention from the tourists over the years. Another important news coming up from America. US to impose $250 visa integrity fees on tourists, students, H-1B workers. Indian nationals who are planning to visit to America for tourism, study, or work will soon face a sharp increase of visa-related costs under the newly signed One Big Beautiful Bill. A mandatory $250 visa integrity fees will be charged on most of the non-immigrant visa categories starting next year, particularly student visas, tourist visas, visiting visas, etc. Trump threatens 200% pharma, 50% copper tariffs. American President Donald Trump announced 50% tariff on all copper products, marking his fourth major tariff hike during his second term. Trump also signaled a more severe move on pharma sector, threatening 200% tariffs on drug imports after a transition period on 1 to 1.5 years. So, it's very pharma and copper imports. Trump is going to increase the tariffs. That's the thing. That is a big thing. The US is India's largest pharma export market, accounting for 36.6% of India's drug exports, worth $9.8 billion between April 2024 and February 2025. It might affect India's exports to America with respect to pharma and copper exports. It might affect India's exports to America. The other news that is coming up is 12 killed as key bridge collapses in Vadodara. The bridge collapse episodes is more frequent. They are more frequent in Gujarat and Maharashtra. Corruption and quality are the major issues. At least 12 people were killed and 9 injured after a section of Gambira Bridge near Padra town in Vadodara district of Gujarat collapsed early on Wednesday, that is July 9th, sending multiple vehicles crashing into the Mahisagar River. It's a very pathetic thing. You can see the collapsed bridge also. If you see that, you can understand the quality of construction. A picture speaks a lot. There is a legal theory called res ipsa loquitur. An accident speaks for itself. A thing speaks for itself. An incident speaks for itself. A picture speaks for itself. If you see the picture, you will understand what might have happened. Next important news. No decision yet on updating NPR along with census, National Population Register. So, we are going to collect the census. You all know that. But no decision was taken with the government whether to update National Population Register along with the census. And there might be a question, what is the difference between NPR and census? NPR is the ordinary residents of the country from last 6 months and who are interested to stay in the country for the next 6 months. census is the collection of the number of population. NPR is the collection who are residing in the country from the last 6 months and who wanted to reside in the country for the next 6 months. So, NPR is the first step towards the creation of NRC. NPR was first created in 2010 and updated in 2015-2016. The National Population Register details of the NPR has details of households. The NPR has details of household-wise database of 119 crore usual residents of the country. NPR data can be shared with government agencies, states, unlike census data. Day before yesterday, there was a freak accident. One school bus was rammed by the passenger train in Kadalur district in Tamil Nadu. One school bus was rammed by a passenger train. 3 children died. And I do remember an episode exactly 10 years back in Telangana, Masaipet, where around 19 children died when railway track was being crossed. Unmanned railway track was being crossed by the bus driver very close to Hyderabad near Tupran. I immediately remember that incident. In fact, Government of India had a program called interlocking system. Interlocking system in the sense, here I wish to tell you, interlocking is an automatic gate closer and opening without a man. Man will be there. Human interference will be there. But in the interlocked system, automatically whenever train is arriving, there will be automatic lock and automatic open. But the thing is, always there will be an element of human error if it is involved by man, if it is done by man. But unfortunately, this is not the accident where it was happened. There was no interlocked system. A man has to manually operate. So this might be the reason. Negligence on the part of maybe railway personnel or bus driver. There is no information about that. But still, lives are very costly. Children lives are very costly. Long back, Government of India launched a program called Setu Bharatam. ROBs, RUBs, road over bridges, road under bridges. It's called, there is a Setu Bharatam program is also there, but still it was a distant dream to construct ROBs and RUBs. Okay, you have to know this.